This is True Raw for TV. Alright, so in this video I want to go in a little bit more in depth of something I mentioned in that video talking about the little Twitter beef between Kendrick Perkins and Kevin Durant. Now hopefully, they squashed that little beef, whatever. From what I heard from Jay Williams, I don't know if he's a reliable source, but Jay Williams is saying that they kind of go at each other like that all the time. Like, that's just how they talk. So if that's the case, then hopefully that is just how they talk, because because it didn't seem like just a little friendly rivalry, It's like Durant was questioning Perkins' skills, if you ask me. But I don't know. That's how some people talk, They argue, fuss, and bicker, and at the end of the day, they chilling with each other in a restaurant, whatever. So like Jordan and Ewan and Oakley, motherfuckers going at each other, trying to take each other's head off in the game, and then, you know, that night or the next night, they at dinner chilling, laughing with each other and shit. But anyway, getting to the point of this video. Something that Kendrick Perkins said just didn't sound right to me as to why he said that he thought that Russell Westbrook is the greatest Thunder. He was saying basically that, I guess the argument that people are giving me now is not necessarily that Westbrook is the best player to ever play for the Thunder, but that he's the most accomplished when it comes to his statistical achievement. And what I'm trying to convey to people is Kendrick Perkins is technically wrong with his information. I know what he's doing. He's taking the years from when the Sonics changed the Thunder in 2008 and talk about what any player has done from 2008 on to now, to 2020. But what people have to remember is that when the Sonics folded and were replaced by the Thunder, retroactively, they absorbed the history of the Sonics. So you got to take every player that's played for the Sonics since then. And one of my sons reminded me, I forgot to mention Ray Allen in the players I mentioned in the past. You got to take everything that everybody's done and incorporate that in the overall standards for the Thunder. So when he says, all right, for instance, that Westbrook is the all-time leading scorer for the Thunder at 18,859, he's correct. He's correct because he eked out Peyton. He eked out Gary Payton, who scored 18,207 points for the Sonics for his career, was the all-time leading scorer until Westbrook passed him last year. But what he's wrong is when he says that Westbrook is the all-time leading rebounder for the Thunder at 5,760, when in reality, the all-time leading rebounder for the Thunder is Jack Sikma when they were the Sonics. Jack Sikma grabbed 7,729 rebounds. So what you're not going to do on my channel is erase what 40 years of history the Sonics did. No, you're not going to do that just to prop up a guy. No, I don't give a fuck if I do love Russell Westbrook. And I love him. I love him. I love Russell Westbrook. But you're not going to fucking erase 40 years of history to prop up some argument that you want to go for a guy because maybe you got some type of little beef toward KD or something. No. The all-time leading rebound for the Thunder, you can look it up and think I'm lying. Go to Basketball Reference. The all-time leading rebounder is Jack Sikma at 7,729. All right? The all-time leader for assists is not Russell Westbrook at 6,897, but it's Gary Payton with well over 7,000 career assists. The all-time leader in steals is not Russell Westbrook with 1,442, but it's Gary Payton with 2,107. So no, this argument is flawed, and I would destroy it if I was debating Kendrick Perkins. In fact, I looked at the numbers between Gary Payton and Russell Westbrook. The one area where he has an edge over Gary is the free throw line. Russell Westbrook for his career with the Thunder is at 80%, while Gary Payton was at 73%. But Gary Payton shot better from the floor at about 47% to Westbrook's 43%. And for the three-point line, Russell Westbrook for the Thunder was a career 31% three-point shooter. Gary Payton a career 32% three-point shooter. All right? The all-time leader in steals per game for the Thunder is Slick Watts, 2.5 steals per game. All right, but you know what Russell Westbrook does lead the Thunder in all time, other than scoring or total points? He's the all-time leader. When you look at it, he's the all-time leader in missed shots, and he's the all-time leader in turnovers. And yes, this is coming from a Russell Westbrook fanboy, so to speak. I will never, ever let my love for a player exceed my love for history and for historical accuracy. The all-time leader for rebounds per game for the franchise is Spencer Haywood, 12.1. Points per game, Kevin Durant, 27.4. Assists per game, Lenny Wilkins is why I mentioned him as putting him above Russell Westbrook at 9 a game. Lenny Wilkins averaged 9 assists per game in his career with the Seattle Supersonics. Serge Ibaka averaged 2.5 blocks per game for the Sonics. The player with the highest player efficiency rating in Thunder history is Kevin Durant at 25 per game. All right? The player with the highest effective field goal percentage, Brent Berry. The all-time leader in offensive rebounds, Shawn Kemp. The all-time leader in win shares, Gary Payton. So to sit there and use stats to prop up Russell is flawed. Because when you look at the total history of the franchise, look, games played, all-time leader, Gary Payton. Minutes played, Gary Payton. Field goals, Gary Payton. Field goal attempts, Gary Payton. 2-point field goals made, Gary Payton. 2-point field goals attempted, Gary Payton. 3-point field goals made, Kevin Durant. 3-point field goals attempted, Kevin Durant. Missed shots, Russell Westbrook. Free throws, Russell Westbrook. Free throw attempts, Russell Westbrook. Offensive rebounds, Shawn Kemp. Defensive rebounds, Jack Sikma. Total rebounds, Jack Sikma. Assists, total assists, Gary Payton. Total steals, Gary Payton. Total blocks, Serge Ibaka. Turnovers, Russell Westbrook. So, in conclusion, when you look at the numbers, it actually suggests that the top two players in Thunder history, as I said in my other video, are Kevin Durant and Gary Payton. And you can make a strong argument that guys like Lenny Wilkins, Gus Williams, prime Dennis Johnson are ahead of Russell Westbrook. And like I said time and time again, this is coming from a guy that loves Russell Westbrook. Okay? I love to watch this guy play. I love watching him in those last 3 seasons with OKC. But I will not lie on this fucking channel. You cannot argue against numbers. Okay? The numbers that Kendrick Perkins are using are flawed. When a team folds and is replaced by another team, that history of that franchise gets retroactively gobbled up by that new team. The Sonics are considered the Thunder, reborn. So it's like essentially until the NBA decides to bring Seattle, the Sonics back to Seattle. The Thunder are considered Seattle. So you have to incorporate their history. Now, the triple doubles, no one's going to touch that. And that's an argument in itself. And what he did was remarkable. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You can argue about whether they're empty stats, whether they contribute anything, but still, the average of triple-double for one season is remarkable. To do it for 2 seasons is incredible. To do it for 3 seasons is historic. Okay? But I still would say with that, he's not the greatest Thunder of all time. The numbers strongly suggest that the top 2 Thunder are Kevin Durant and Gary Payton. And be it that Kevin Durant won an MVP award and 4 scoring titles, All-Star Game MVP, and went to the finals, albeit he lost, in 2012. When you take those things into consideration, you have to put him ahead of Gary Payton. Gary Payton never won MVP. He did win Defensive Player of the Year, led the NBA in steals during 95 and 96, and won Defensive Player of the Year that year, and went to the finals that year on a 64-win Sonic team, which is still the franchise record for Thunder/Sonics. But the achievements that Durant made, I think, would put him above Gary Payton in a historical sense. But to call Russell Westbrook the greatest Thunder, I think it's it's sort of a jab at Durant, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Sort of a jab. It's almost like, it's almost like saying, I got one. It's almost like saying Fat Lever is a better point guard or a better player than Isaiah Thomas because he has more career triple-doubles. Well, look, I mean, Fat Lever had 43 triple-doubles, Isaiah, I don't think Isaiah had 10, so that shows you his versatility at the point guard position. I think Isaiah Thomas was overrated just because he played a bunch of great players. You know how fucking stupid I sound saying that? Anybody in their right minds would never rank Lafayette Lever ahead of Gary Payton. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know Kendrick Perkins, what his motivation was behind this. Like some of our subscribers have said, just recently Kendrick Perkins has been a big supporter and defender of Kevin Durant. But I don't know what the fuck is behind this, But it is what it is, But at the end of the day, Kendrick Perkins' numbers are flawed. And you can send us to his Twitter if you want to.